Welcome to Impact Academy. I'm Maria, and we will delve together into the module about nudge theory in time of decision making by Demostene Centro Studi. At the end of this module, you will be able to clearly define what constitutes a nudge and distinguish it from other interventions. Understand the core principles of behavioral economics and their connection to nudge theory. Then we will identify and explain the framework of libertarian paternalism. In the end, we will analyze case studies and real world examples to evaluate the effectiveness of nudges. Unit 1, we will see the introduction about what is a nudge and why nudges matter. The Unit 2, we will delve into the nudge theory and impact entrepreneurship. Unit 3, we will see an application of nudge theory through the choice architecture and online decision making tools. In Unit 4, we will go to the conclusion of the module and the takeaway and lesson learned and the future of nudges. First of all, let's start by defining what a nudge is. A nudge is any aspect of the decision-making environment that alters people's behavior in a predictable way without forbidding any options or significantly changing their economic incentives. For example, placing healthier food at aisle level in a cafeteria is a nudge. It doesn't ban junk food but encourage healthier choices. Nudges rely on behavioral insights from psychology and economics to help people make better decisions, often aligning with their long term interests. The two scientists, Richard Taylor and Cass Sustaine, demonstrate how thoughtful choice architecture can be established to nudge us in a beneficial direction without restricting freedom of choices. According to this theory, we have two cognitive systems: the automatic system, uncontrolled, effortless, associative, and fast unconscious skilled, and the reflective system, that is controlled, effortful, deductive, slow, and self awareness through following. That's why nudges matter, because human decision making is influenced by a range of cognitive biases and tendencies that nudges seek to address. Why can nudge theory influence the impact entrepreneurship? Nudge theory supports mission driven innovation by combining psychological insights with practical goals. Align incentives with behavior, encourages positive action without force or financial pressure. Cost effective, nudges are low cost, making them ideal for startups and social ventures. It's scalable. Behavioral interventions can be applied broadly with minimal resources and promotes social norms, leverages peer behavior to reinforce desired action, and creates lasting impact, build habit and cultural shift that persists over time. Let's see what are the key advantages for impact ventures. Behavior aligned innovation, low cost, high impact, easily scalable, social norms activation, and sustainable change. When designing nudges for social good, we have to bear in mind key principles. For example, define a clear social objective. Start with the specific, measurable outcomes tied to a meaningful benefit for the society. Leverage behavioral insight. Use findings from psychology and behavioral economics to understand real decision patterns. Test, learn, and iterate. Prototype small, gather feedback, and continuously improve the intervention. Embed nudges into everyday context. Make nudges part of the natural environment, seamless, contextual, and intuitive. Here we have few examples of nudge into everyday context. For example, on workplace, to encourage physical activity, we can place healthy snacks in a location that is close to the eye, or we can promote the use of stairs or having leader model healthy habits. In the digital environment, for example, we can have visual cues like red dots on notification icons, tool tips, or spotlight or interactive tours to highlight features or guide users through a process. In everyday life, promoting sustainable choices like defaulting environmentally friendly options, for example, also in the bank when you decide to not print your invoice, or highlighting low calorie menu items. Some of the challenges of nudge are, for example, nudge exploit mental shortcuts. There is a risk of manipulation if misused. Inclusivity in design ensure nudge work for diverse population and do not reinforce inequality. Transparency and trust. People should understand when and how they are being nudged, and hidden nudges can undermine credibility. Ethical guiding principle. Nudges show empower, not deceive. The aim is to support better choice, not to control them. Let's delve into the application of nudge theory. There are key principles of choice architecture to shape decision through smarter design. For example, with the default option. What happens if no active choice is made? Default heavily influence behavior and make them beneficial. Feedback provide real-time or clear responses to action, helps user learn and adjust behavior over time. Incentives understand what motivates people and align incentives accordingly. Even small rewards or costs can shift decisions. Two examples of incentives: rewards for achieving goals, such as free coffees or smoothies for reaching weekly fitness goals, or a free extra hotel night for participation in sustainable activities. Or health and wellness reimbursement, offering financial support for healthy lifestyle choices such as gym membership or healthy meal plans. Examples of default options. For example, in the software installation, software often has default settings like agreeing to terms and conditions which are pre-selected for users, or automated renewals. Subscription and services often have default renewal options, requiring user to proactively cancel. How default work? The status quo bias. People tend to stick with the default option unless they have a strong reason to change it, leveraging the cognitive ease of the familiar. Stick is an innovative online decision making and goal setting tool designed to help individuals reach personal or professional goals through accountability, commitment, and behavioral nudges. The core mechanism: users set a goal and sign digital agreements with real consequences. Progress is monitored by a referee or peer, reinforcing follow through. Users can pledge money. If they fail, funds are donated, even to disliked causes. There are regular reminders, feedback loops, and social pressure drive consistent action. Using human psychology to design better intervention, we can understand cognitive biases and identify common mental shortcuts and decision errors. We can target real behaviors, focus on how people actually behave, not how they should have behaved ideally. Design context sensitive nudges. tailor intervention to specific environments and moment of decision making, use data and experiments, and continuously test and refine nudges based on behavioral data. What is not a nudge? While nudges aim to simplify decision and encourage positive action, sludge does the opposite. Sludge is deliberate creation of friction in processes. It makes action harder or more frustrating, often used to discourage people from completing tasks, for example, canceling subscription or accessing benefits. Sludge reduces choice and creates barrier, unlike nudge, which preserve freedom and ease decisions. Nudge help people make better choices. Sludge traps them in complexity. So let's sum up what we learned in this module. We learned what is nudge, and we need to remember the two key principles. We learned why it matters, and we need to remember the two cognitive systems. Then we learned about nudges and impact entrepreneurship, and there are four principles in designing effective nudge. Then last we saw Stick, the online tool. So now go to try and commit for your goals.